Today, class, we are talking about maps, the basics of geography. There's a few different aspects of geography. How many of you have heard of a map before? Good, a good number of you have. How many of you have used a map before? Good, nice, about half of you. Today we're going to be learning about 4 different kinds of maps: elevation maps, climate maps, road maps, and thematic maps. You all may know what the first 3 are, but the last one, you may all learn something new, which is exciting. Okay, second slide, elevation maps. They show the surface of the earth, represents a bird-eye view, and the shape of the land surface. First off, elevations maps can show like mountains and rivers and cities. Like I said before, it represents a bird-eye view from above and like from outer space. Elevation maps also show the shape of the land surface, like how tall a mountain is. As you can see in the map to the right over here, you can see these crevices. This is the elevation of a mountain or a hill, and this also shows the rivers and things of that sort. Elevation maps continued. Elevation maps also have a grid or a lattice pattern. As you can see in this picture to the right, you see the lines crisscrossing across this map. They show different latitudes and longitudes. Latitudes are the lines going up and down, so these lines right here, and or north and south if you want to see it like that. And the longitude is left and right, or east and west. These horizontal lines. These lines on an elevation map that you see are swirly. These ones here going across the map and not straight are called contour points. Elevation maps continued. Contour points. They do not cross each other, divide, or split. They represent a slope, which means how steep or tall a mountain is. As you can see these swirly lines, once again, it shows the elevation of the slope of the mountain and how steep or how deep it may be. They trend up valleys, just like when you all go sledding in the winter time, like we have this past winter. It's all downhill. So these, the distance between these 2 lines, that's downhill. This is exactly what these maps show, but from a bird's eye view, from up above looking down. So if you're a bird, you see this from above and you see the elevation. A little bit more about elevation maps. They show a flat representation of the earth. They represent a vertical scale and not a horizontal scale like most maps. It represents the height of the land masses on earth. So like up and down. And like all these past pictures on the previous slides, they have these swirly lines that show this steepness of the slope. We can continue on from here. And on to our next kind of map, climatic maps. You can all guess what this one may be about. Climate, obviously. It shows different areas of the world that show what kind of climate they may possess. A totally different kind of map. This map uses colors, as you can see, all these different colors, and they have a key at the bottom that has each of the colors that's in the map. They use colors to show different areas of a country or part of the world that has different climates and or any kind of annual average, such as like precipitation or cloud cover, anything of that aspect. An example of this is the average amount of rainfall, snowfall, or anything like that, any monthly or annual averages. Moving on. Climatic maps continued. These colored zones could be represented by temperature, precipitation, cloud cover, like I said previously. They show any kind of data that you want. It could also be population, which shows in a lot of maps. Population is represented in a lot. Moving on to the next, we have road maps. Road maps are the most widely known and used maps. How many of you have gone on a vacation and drove to your destination? Good, the majority of you have, and I'm sure you will all have seen a road map at some point of your life. These handy-dandy maps show roads of a city, state, or any other area of a country or part of the world. These maps can also show tourist attractions such as Disney World, where Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse are, Washington, D.C., where our president lives, and any other cool spot, even Mackinac City here in Michigan. These tourist attractions, this is Washington, D.C. and Los Angeles in Florida, where Disney World is. They show historical interests, like the Pentagon or anything of that aspect. Moving on to the next, we have more road maps. Like I said earlier, they're the most widely used and known map. They're used for motorists and those types of things. If you want to go travel, you most likely will use road maps. Another fun fact about road maps is that they're that even the youngest of children kind of know how to use them. When I was a child, I knew how to read maps. I was pretty much the GPS of my family whenever we traveled, so I think it's important for young children to get involved with these kinds of maps. Majority of these maps are used in atlases and books used by motorists driving and looking for their destination. Okay, next, thematic maps. These maps are a little trickier, and a lot of people don't know what these maps contain. They have a lot of different kinds of thematic maps. These maps to the right here, this one specifically shows the spread of the bubonic plague in Europe way back when. And like I said way earlier on, a lot of maps show population. So it shows a particular theme connected with a geographic area, can show physical, social, political, cultural, and economic aspects of a region. Moving on, thematic maps continued. 5 thematic mapping techniques are choropleth, proportional symbols, contour, dot, and asymmetric. These types of maps are hard to explain in the grand scheme of things. They all portray a different kind of map. Even I, as a teacher, had to simplify these meanings, and in the continuing slides to come, I'll explain each characteristic more in depth for you all. Okay, moving on. First off, choropleth maps. Choropleth maps, these maps have colors representing a range of values. As you see in the picture, the color palette spans from light pink to dark red. The data is a color and can show density, percentage, and so much more. As you can see here, you have the red going to lighter, lighter, and even just light pink. So it just shows the span of different colors. Okay, next. Another type of map is proportional maps. As you can see in the picture, these maps are represented with bubbles and different size bubbles, more alongside of population-wise. They show different villages and different cities with many different population spans. And then these circles could represent much more, like on the last slide, the bubonic plague. It could represent how many people passed away or anything of that sort. Moving on to the next, we have contour maps. This depicts the precipitation levels and wind currents. With the elevation maps, you could see the swirlies that showed the steepness of a hill or a mountain. Here, this shows the wind currents and the jet stream. A lot of the time, planes follow the jet stream to be more proficient on their fuel, which is a little fun fact. Can also show elevation, as I said before. And also, dot maps. These show a spatial pattern and can depict one unit or several depending on what is being shown. a lot of the time population is represented with dot maps showing different densities and such. And the last type of thematic maps are asymmetric maps. These types of maps use statistics to combine areas with similar values. An example of this you can see to the right. These are two pictures that show the total population and total population density. It shows a comparison between the two. And overall, these types of maps are basics of geography. Knowing how to read and decipher a map is crucial, whether it is for school or just wanting to visit your favorite tourist spot.